Kanoku Sensei is so freaking thirsty. This teacher is so thirsty. She's over here filming students. She's over here trying to set up Nukumizu some alone time with Komari in her bedroom. She's over here trying to tell inappropriate stories to the students. This lady is so thirsty. But no, episode 9 of Makeine, fantastic episode, really emotional episode. I got so worked up around. It was really that point which he sent the text, because that was a signification. You have friends. People are backing. Yes, her senpais technically got involved, but this was mostly her friends. Her friends backed her up. And yes, technically, Nukumizu basically saying that he's Komari's friend. That was important to her. That's like a gut punch. Like, girl, you have people that want to be your friend. You're not going to be alone. Just because your senpais are leaving, you're not going to be alone. It's just, oh, the heartbreak. And yes, basically admitting in this episode that it's almost like she regrets telling Tamaki that she liked him, because everything was fine back here. When I joined my first term, I had no friends. They were so nice to me. They were my friends. And then at some point I messed it up. But it was also an aspect she had to. Like, she had to get that off her chest. That was her ability to kind of move forward. There's so much in this episode. I'm getting ahead of myself. But no, let's jump into the episode proper and hit every single point one by one. But opening up the episode, yes, with a trope. We have to get the rom-com trope of the girl falling on the guy in the stairwell. And again, I always love this because it's willing to kind of get into those stupid tropes, but just have fun with it. Just embrace the trope. But yes, him walking around with Karen, her mentioning the idea that they always talk about him all the time. She wanted to meet him. And yes, him being very distracted by her assets. She got some very fluffy assets, and that was definitely distracting for him. But no, Nukumizu meets up with Komari. We're, again, similar to the previous episode, getting a lot of sense here that Komari is taking too much onto her plate, but he's trying to help her as much as that he can, with the snacks, getting all this stuff printed out later on, all these things that he's trying to do to help her out. But it's very obvious very quickly that she's taking on too much. She's getting all these damn books from the library. She's stacking on more, all that stuff. But yes, that's all leads into them spotting her senpais together at the library. And again, I really found this part to be like a massive heartbreak, because again, it is Komari admitting that, yeah, before I used to be able to hang out with them here. That's the troubling thing. It's not that I spotted them and I was hiding, but it's more the fact that she's acknowledging the fact that she could have been with them if only she didn't confess to him. They were so nice to me. I had no friends before. They were taking care of me. And now she's losing that. She's going to be losing those friends. And that is the heartbreak that is around Komari's story so far. And again, it's kind of that sad aspect that she's not acknowledging the friends that she has now. She's so focused on these two and how good they were to her, and that is something that she's going to be losing. But again, like Nukumizu always does, really great job here in the idea that he's just saying, say the word, I'll be there. Don't worry, you're not alone. I'm here. Ensuring to her that I will be at your side. Just say the word. Yeah, when she says she had a lot of fun with them, but now it's back to normal, she's literally saying it's back to when I had no friends. It's just like, oh, girl, it hurts. It hurts. But now that's when we get a little scene with the class. And yes, we get to see Mummy Lemon. Mummy Lemon up there. He's like, man, your tummy's being exposed. Well, that's how mummies look. And he's like, wait a second. You're wearing something underneath that, aren't you? No, mummies don't wear anything underneath it. Then suddenly the girls just show up. Girl, come back over here. Come back over here, girl. Lemon is too pure. Lemon is too pure, girl. That girl just standing there stark naked with just a strap around her body. And yes, technically Yanami walking up there and doing a little ghost thing. She's such a dork. She's such a cute little dork. But no, she gets called away and some dude shows up and he's looking a little defensive. And again, this is kind of showing a sign that we're probably going to have some sort of rivalry here. I don't think Yanami has any care for this guy. I mean, based on the conversation at the very end of the episode, but at least it's showing that somebody's taking note that Yanami is hanging out with Nukumizu too much, and there's a jealousy there. So I'm kind of wondering if this guy is going to end up not being somebody that's a love interest for Yanami, but more of an aspect that people might push this guy onto Yanami because she's popular and she should be with a popular person and not with Nukumizu, or possibly this guy getting a little bit rough with Nukumizu in the future. I really do think this guy's going to show up again. But no, that's when things hit the fan. Komari collapses. They end up taking her to the infirmary. The nurse there again makes some stupid comments about students working themselves out too much, that she has a lot of experience in that. And yet, yes, she has a story that she could share. They're like, no. But they end up taking her back to her place where we get to meet the Komari kids. The cute little Komari kids. They were so adorable. One of them walks up like, oh, no. The first one asks if he was a friend. He's like, yeah, I'm a friend of hers, which again, Komari gets super excited about that. You know it. And then the other one shows up because, well, he's a friend, so it's okay. And this little girl comes up and she's got the cute little tie up exactly the same way. I have the same one. And he's like, oh yeah, it's cute. And she gets all panicky, just like Komari, and runs off. It's like, yeah, these siblings are very similar. But no, this whole scene is great because Nukumizu is pushing on to Komari. You can't keep pushing yourself. I'll take some of that burden off of you. I can handle some of that. And again, she doesn't want to do that. This is something that she wants to handle. This is, again, like mentioned at the very end of this episode, it's like her love song. It's her swan song to her friends. The send off of her friends and her ability to kind of wrap things up and prove that she'll be fine on her own. She has to do it on her own. And again, I like that Nukumizu doesn't say you're doing it wrong, but simply the idea, okay, give a little bit. Nukumizu's not saying I'll handle everything, get some rest, which is going to be something that she's not going to allow because this is something that's very important to her. He's at least saying, let me take some of that burden. Just give me a little bit, and you can handle what you want to write. It's very important to you that you write that. And apparently later on we find out it's a lot that she writes. But it's simply, give me a little bit of that and I'll handle that. And it's great. Again, Nukumizu, as always, just a great person to be there as a support. Yeah, it was cute that she technically gets all fluttered, the idea that she's in her pajamas. And the teacher literally, like, peeks her head in the door. She's like, wait, you didn't get a peek? Wow, that's dumb. Like, the teacher's like, you should have taken a peek. And yes, after taking the siblings out, she's like, go ahead and you guys enjoy your time. You'll be all alone. That teacher's so bad. It is also great that Nukumizu does acknowledge just how hard she's working. I like that whole after scene where he's with, Tsukunoki and Tamaki, and he mentioned the idea that you guys are wanting her to get stronger, but you guys don't realize just how strong she is. I think that Komari is strong, yes. With everything that she admitted to Nukumizu at the library, that was big. That was a very big step for her to admit that, look, I feel like I messed up, and I do miss this thing, and I feel like I'm going back to this point. I feel like I'm being alone again. She's admitting all these things, which takes a lot of courage. But additionally, she's also pushing herself because she feels that this is necessary for her own growth. Yes, the bad side of it is that she's pushing herself too much, but it at least is showing that strength that she is putting herself out there. But yes, Yanami contacts everybody. Everybody comes flooding in. All of these friends that Komari doesn't realize she has are all showing up to help her out and get the job done for her. So fantastic. I like the sister shows up at some point. Cute little school outfit. And yes, technically him is putting his jacket on her and just kind of cuddling in the middle of the school. I like the fact that he's a rare brother that doesn't totally freak out that situation, because typically it's like, we're in public or we're at my school, you're embarrassing me, sister, get away from me. No, he just embraces. It was cute. But yeah, like I said before, the moment that he sent that picture to Komari and she's super happy about it, I was like, oh gosh, it just hurts. Because again, I think the moment that she's seen that text, it was literally like, oh, those are my friends. They handle things for me. I can rely on other people. I think is a big part there, is I can rely on Nukumizu. He will support me. All of my friends will support me. Lemon will support me. Yanami will support me. Yes, they have their own clubs, their own things they're doing, but everybody pitched in order to help her. The moment her senpais graduate, she's not going to be alone. But no, I really found the scene with Yanami and Nukumizu really interesting. Yes, the end part of it was hilarious. The idea of him kind of getting up close to her freaking out, like, we can't be doing that right now, and all that kind of stuff, and her flustering up, and then him pointing out the fact that the teacher's right there. But no, the scene was great because, again, there's a difference in how the two of them view what Komari is doing. And I think I agree with both sides of it. That's the interesting part. And it's technically based on what each one of them have seen, whereas Nukumizu goes based on what he was told and what he's seen, and then you have Yanami and what she's seen, and plus what she talked to Komari about. Yanami believes it's a love letter, and Nukumizu disagrees. He says that the exhibit shows Komari's memories, her gratitude, and her dedication as a club president. This is her statement that I will handle things going forward. But he also admits that he sees it that way because he doesn't want to see this as a depressing message. Yes, again, the idea of a love letter is that she's feeling like she's sending off her senpais and that she won't see them again, whereas he wants to see as a positive message in everything. Whereas Yanami, again, the love letter aspect is the idea that she really does treasure her senpais, but she has to let it go. She was prepared when she confessed her feelings at the camp. That's interesting. That implies she already knew the moment she confessed. Once she settled down, she told Yanami that she had given up completely on him. But of course, Yanami, like anybody, just like Lemon, just like anybody that has ever been in love and been rejected, no, you can't. Those feelings just don't disappear. But still, she's got to get those feelings out. And how she feels that Komari's doing that is by making this exhibit, by writing, doing her stories. Yes, Lemon, she gets her feelings out by going out and running, which a lot of people do. Exercise is a great way to get those emotions out of your system, to get rid of that stress and whatnot. And Yanami feels like she's doing this because she wants to move on so that she can fall in love again. And of course, there's that good question mark is, do you guys think it's for Nukumizu? I mean, Yanami's like, you got to be careful. If you want to get her, she's cute. You better do it now. And of course, he flips it right on her with the idea of the samurai guy and how it seems like he likes her and yeah, the jealousy thing going on. But again, I love this because again, it's two different perspectives on the same individual and what they're going through. And again, I think they're all technically correct. I think there's a side of this that Komari wants to do this as a positive note to prove that she can handle things, that she can move on, that she is strong, she can handle the club, she doesn't want her senpais to worry about her. But additionally, it is her basically trying to essentially move on, to get her emotions out there, to be able to move forward. So in the end, it is both a positive and a depressing message, because in the idea of moving on, there's a sad reality of it is that you're trying to get this out of your life. You're trying to get away from something. There's a loss there, basically. Again, a really good scene there. I was actually very surprised by their conversation and how well it kind of played out. And again, a lot of that is how much I really like the writing that is around Nukumizu. He is such a strong protagonist character. He's literally going to go up there as one of my favorite male protagonist characters in one of these types of shows. Rom-coms, in a lot of cases, have really blah main characters. They're so plain because they're wrote to be self-insert, or just the writer doesn't really care too much about them. They care about selling the female characters, which yes, this writer does a fantastic job on the female characters too. They just don't neglect the actual male character too. Really good stuff though. Really, really, really love this episode. Fun little moments again. Really lemon stark naked underneath the cloth. But yes, the teacher and some cute Yanami faces. Just an overall really fantastic episode with some emotional punches around Komari. I really do hope that this really does change her perspective on her friends. I'm really looking forward to the next episode just to see how Komari views Nukumizu and Yanami and Lemon and everybody around her. My gosh, I forgot the scene with Nukumizu and Komari testing out all the snacks. And he's like, you should praise me more. She starts praising them. They had this stupid, goofy giggle. Komari's little stupid, goofy giggle is so cute. I do have to say that it's kind of funny that we completely glossed over the fact that we left the previous episode on that scene with the student council. It's like, we're just going to act like that didn't happen. Yeah, just ignore that. Just ignore that. That's probably for next season. Let's just ignore that. Let's have fun for now. But my gosh, 3 more episodes. I'm going to be so sad when this show is done. I really do hope that they get another announcement for another season like right off the bat, because it's such a good show. It's just overall, the character writing so fantastic. But that's my thoughts on episode 9 of Makeine. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit that like button down below, comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe before you leave. If you like this content and you want to support the channel more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it, it does. Until next time, I'll take care.